Welcome to the 12 most haunted places in China. If you enjoy this video, please subscribe. Welcome to China, one of the most beautiful countries in the world. China has some of the most beautiful traditions, architect, and unique landscapes throughout the world. Whether we're watching a parade of dragons or fireworks, the beauty of their architectural structures like the Achaean, the Lingnan, or pagodas. It has some of the most breathtaking landscapes. It has Mount Everest, the karst landscapes, as well as the Rainbow Mountains. The history of China. Once again, I can't really release just a paranormal video on another culture of people. I have to make sure you understand a little bit about the people by teaching you a little bit about the history. They have many regional dialects, but Mandarin Chinese is spoken by 80% of the population. The earliest surviving written Chinese dates back to roughly 1250 BCE. So China starts in the Neolithic era in 8500 BCE to 2000 BCE. China's ancient era starts in 2070 BCE and it goes all the way into 221 BCE. Then the imperial era starts in 221 BCE and goes all the way to 1912 CE. The modern era starts in 1912, and then it eventually becomes the People's Republic of China in 1949. China is divided into several types of territories: 23 provinces, 5 autonomous regions, 4 municipalities, 2 special administrative regions. China's dynasties. Much of China's history is viewed through their dynastic cycle by tracking the imperial dynasties' rise and fall and their achievements. The dynastic tracking of Chinese civilization can be traced as an unbroken thread for many thousands of years into the past, making it one of the cradles of its civilization. The Shuha dynasty from 2070 BCE to approximately 1600 BCE is the earliest of the dynasties classified as the Early Bronze Age. The Song dynasty from approximately 1600 BCE to 1046 BCE, both archaeological evidence like oracle bones and bronze, as well as transmittal text, attest to this historic existence. The Zhou dynasty from 1046 BCE to about 256 BCE is the longest lasting dynasty in Chinese history, with 2 pivotal events occurring during the Zhou dynasty. The spring and autumn period from 722 BCE to 476 BC was marked by decreased royal power and more power to the lords of the land. The Warring States period was from 476 BCE to 221 BCE, and the name says it all. It's all about the wars of that period of time. The Qin dynasty from 221 BCE to 206 BCE effectively formalized the region as a true empire for the first time in Chinese history. This dynasty started the Great Wall of China. The Han dynasty from 206 BCE to 220 CE was a golden age in Chinese history. The Han dynasty's long period of stability and prosperity consolidated the foundation of China as a unified state under a central imperial bureaucracy, which was to last intermittently for most of the next 2 millennia. The Xin dynasty, from 9 CE to 23 CE, was one of the shortest dynasties that called for the end of the Han dynasty. Eastern Han dynasty, from 25 CE to 220 CE, was reinstated with the support of landholders and merchant families. Thus, this new era is termed the Eastern Han dynasty. The Eastern Han dynasty was one of the most prolific eras of science in China. Among the historic inventions were papermaking and numerous scientific and mathematical contributions. It also reopened the Silk Road, bringing trade, foreign cultures, along with the arrival of Buddhism. The Three Kingdoms dynasty ushered in an era of warlords. In the ensuing turmoil, 3 states emerged, trying to gain predominance and reunify the land. The Jin dynasty, from 266 CE to 420 CE, reunited China proper for the first time since the end of the Han dynasty, ending the Three Kingdoms era. This dynasty also continued to add to the Great Wall of China. The 16 Kingdoms was in existence from 304 CE to 439 CE. They were a fragmented part of northern China that separated itself from the Jin dynasty that was occurring at the same time. The northern and southern dynasties, from 420 CE to 589 CE, unified most of China except for with each other. The Sui dynasty, from 581 CE to 618 CE, was short-lived but a pivotal period in Chinese history, resulting in the northern and southern China reuniting. The Sui pioneered many new institutions, including government systems with 3 departments and 6 ministries, imperial examinations for selecting officials from commoners, and the equal field system of land distribution. These policies were adopted by later dynasties, brought enormous population growth and a mass excess of wealth to the state. They also standardized the coinage of the time throughout the empire, and the Great Wall was expanded by this short dynasty. The Tang dynasty, from 618 to 907, was a golden age in Chinese civilization, a prosperous, stable, and creative period with significant developments in culture, art, literature, and particularly poetry and technology. The Wuzhou dynasty, from 690 to 705, disrupted the Tang dynasty when a mother overthrew her son, and then another son overthrew her. The 5 dynasties and 10 kingdoms dynasty or period was from 907 to 960. During this half-century, China was in all respects a multi-state system caused by disunity after the fall of the Tang dynasty. The Song dynasty, from 960 to 1279, reunited most of China proper, while large swath of the outer territories were occupied by nomadic empires. This dynasty contributed through many great advancements in science and technology, including the inventions of the hydro-mechanical astronomical clock, the first continuous and endless power transmitting chain, woodblock printing, and paper money. The Song dynasty has the first surviving records for the chemical formula for gunpowder, the invention of gunpowder weapons, fire arrows, bombs, and the fire lance. The Liu dynasty, which lasted from 907 to the Western Shui dynasty, was from 1032 to 1227 CE and ruled over northwestern Chinese provinces. And the second Qin dynasty went from 1115 to 1234 and was concurrent with the Song and the Shua dynasties. The Song dynasty, the Liu dynasty, the Shua dynasty, and the Southern Song dynasty were all conquered by the Mongol Empire, led originally by Genghis Khan. The Mongol Empire lasted from 1206, when Genghis Khan was declared the Emperor of China, until 1368 CE. In 1271, the Mongol Empire became the Yuan dynasty. Today, Mongolia is a separate country from China. The Mongol Yuan dynasty became the first conquest dynasty in Chinese history to rule the entirety of China proper and its population as an ethnic minority. The Grand Canal that was built by previous dynasties was reconstructed to include southern parts of China, setting the precedents and foundation for Beijing to largely remain as the capital for the successive regiments. It also expanded its roads and created a postal system to connect the vast empire. The Ming Dynasty was from 1368 to 1644. Its foreign trade and other contacts with the outside world, particularly Japan, increased considerably. The Qing Dynasty from 1644 to 1912 was the last imperial dynasty in China. It was the second conquest dynasty to rule the entirety of China proper and roughly doubled the territory controlled by the Ming. The Qing ruled more than 1/3 of the world's population and had the largest economy in the world. By area, it was one of the largest empires ever. In 1911, a revolution occurred abolishing the dynasty and Imperial China, and the Republic of China was born. In 1927, civil war began, and that lasted until 1949, when a great retreat was called for. Russian communism was brought into China after the replacement of Stalin. Communism stabilized China and ushered in a new era. And in 1949, China became the People's Republic of China. It is a country with over 1 billion people. I ignorantly thought the Chinese people were a united people. I also thought Chinese government was 2,000 years old. I had no idea for 2 millennia China has been fighting civil wars, cultural wars, in an area of land that's not much larger than the US. I regret my ignorance, and I hope someday China will find peace within its borders. Now it's time for the hauntings in China. The Forbidden City in Beijing. The Forbidden City was built in the early 1400s during the Ming Dynasty. It is a complex of majestic buildings and grounds that bear witness to the rise and fall of China's most powerful emperors. This imperial palace has a long history of executions, betrayal, and suffering. The Forbidden City has poltergeist and other spirits that are said to inhabit this vast palace. Security guards have cornered a woman with no face. They also will suddenly hear music. The Forbidden City has also had many concubines, and one of the most common paranormal reports they receive is they hear women crying. Wuhan's Yangtze River Bridge. The Wuhan Yangtze River Bridge, completed in 1957, was designed to be able to connect northern China and southern China. across the Yangtze River. The paranormal activity involves a woman who lost her life on that bridge after a lover left her. Strange occurrences happen, and if you walk on that bridge at night, she comes out and scares you. The old Hongpu Military Academy in Shanghai. The old Hongpu Military Academy in Shanghai opened its doors in 1924. It was built for the purpose of starting a Chinese revolution. It is still an icon of patriotism for the Chinese people. Paranormal activity includes seeing soldiers and hearing sounds of marching phantoms. Bingdu Ghost City. The city was built back in the Eastern Han Dynasty. The founders of the city wanted to go to the Ming Mountain, which is where this is located, in order to practice Taoism and become immortal. Upon becoming immortal, they labeled themselves, in a sense, the king of hell. And it's much more of an amusement park than it is a city. It, in a sense, is a realm where the veil between the living and the dead grows thin. The entire city, because it was built for the afterlife, gives just kind of an eerie feel to it. This location may not be haunted, but apparently it's still very scary. Chaonei, number 81, in Beijing. This French Baroque style building was built in the early 1920s. It went through multiple owners and uses until it was abandoned. It inspired the 2014 movie The House That Never Dies. Urban legend has it that one of the first owners died in the house. There are claims of shadowy figures that dance behind curtains and ghostly forms flickering in and out. Even on the hottest summer days, an icy chill hangs in the heavy air. The ancient city of Pingyao. This ancient city dates back to the Western Zhou dynasty in the 827 BCE to 782 BCE. It was rebuilt in the 14th century by the Ming dynasty, and in the 16th century it became a major financial hub. It held China's first national bank. For the most part, it lays abandoned, with the exception of tourists. And visitors have reported seeing ghosts and hearing strange noises. Yuanming Yuan, the old summer palace in Beijing. Yuanming Yuan was built in the early 1700s. It had a blend of Western European style buildings with Chinese gardens. But in the 1860s, the Anglo-French forces looted and destroyed much of the building, and there's only ruins left. Legend tells the story that a young imperial concubine was forced to take her own life, and now she haunts the place in order to get revenge. Other phenomena include strange noises, sightings of ghostly figures, and concubines roaming the grounds. The drum and bell towers in Beijing. Built in 1272 during the Yuan dynasty, Beijing's bell and drum tower served as the official timepiece for the capital until 1924. Visitors claim to encounter phantoms of former drummers and guards, with strange noises and eerie events reported within the tower walls. One of the most intriguing is that of a young musician who met his untimely end while playing the drums, and his spirit still haunts the towers, causing the drums to pound ferociously in the dead of night. Prince Gong's mansion in Beijing. Prince Gong's mansion was constructed in 1777 during the Qing dynasty. It did not become named Prince Gong Mansion until 1851, when the emperor gave his brother Prince Gong the mansion. In 1982, it was declared a major historical and cultural site protected at the national level. The paranormal activity that's reported at this location involves an apparition of a woman cloaked in white. She can be seen lingering in the corridors or in the shadowy corners. It is believed that she is a mother that lost her son in battle. The guards working there have seen her walking the premises with her escorts, and they also hear mournful wails coming through the walls and the halls. The Great Wall of China. The Great Wall of China was continuously built from the 3rd century BCE to the 17th century CE. It was placed on the northern border of the country as a great military defense. It is roughly 20,000 kilometers long, or 20,000 miles long. The walls are 6 to 7 meters high, 20 to 23 feet. It is 4 to 5 meters wide, equivalent to 13 to 16 feet. Some sections of the wall have eroded, but most of the wall is still intact to this day. Because this wall was continuously being built for hundreds of years, historians estimate that between 400,000 to 1 million people died building this wall. Tourists, visitors, and employees claim to see soldiers patrolling the wall, as well as hearing the sounds of marching footsteps. Some will suddenly even feel nauseous and dizzy. Although I will say that depends on your altitude, because that sounds like altitude sickness. Bingmen Village. Bingmen Village was a settlement during the Ming and Qing dynasties. It is located in Henan province. By 1981, the village was deserted. Some reports say that people left for natural reasons such as the economy or agriculture. Others claim that the city was abandoned because of paranormal activity. When people yell out their names in the dark, someone will reply by saying their names. Others will faint, and when they wake up, they will have scratches all over their bodies. And of course, when you go into the city and see all these windows wide open, it gives that eerie feeling that you're being watched. Sui Ying Pun Community Complex in Hong Kong. The Sui Ying Pun Community Complex is a 9-story building built in 1892. It was originally built to provide homes or housing for medical staff. Then it was used as a ward for female patients suffering mental illness. During World War II, the Japanese soldiers used it as an execution hall. In 1947, it became the largest psychiatric facility in Hong Kong. The hospital was closed down in 1961. It was vacant for about 20 years. Then in 1998, it was redeveloped and preserved and is now considered a historical monument. It is known as the High Street Ghost House. They see headless specters, apparitions that burst into flame, disembodied sounds like women crying, and thunderous noises. I hope you enjoyed this video on the 12 most haunted places in China. Let me know in the comments below if you've been to these locations. You can shop at echopearlcreations.com, which is the official website for Paranormal True or False. The music for the first half of this video is actually from YouTube Sound Studio. The title is Singularity, The Grey Room, Destiny and Time. You can go to producerjimriley.com to learn more about the man that makes all the music for this channel. And again, if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe. Remember to question everything. Thanks for watching Paranormal, True or False.